Today I wanted to give you an update on the homicide investigation of Christopher Skinner. I can tell you on Saturday, October 17th into the early morning hours of Sunday, October 18th, Christopher Skinner was celebrating his sister's birthday at a bar in the entertainment district. At the end of the night, Mr. Skinner began to walk home along Adelaide Street. His home is east of Yonge Street, still in the downtown core, so not actually far from the entertainment district. He made it as far as Adelaide Street and Victoria Street, which is just east of Yonge Street. At this point, we know that Mr. Skinner was assaulted by between 2 and 4 males. He was pushed to the ground and kicked while he laid down on the ground. The assault took place in front of a black SUV, and the assailants were seen getting back into this SUV after the assault. The driver of this SUV, he is described as male, light skin, very short hair, with similar to like a military-style haircut, and he was wearing a tight black tank top, similar to an undershirt. The black SUV is a 4-door, with the rear windows are tinted, and the interior is a light color, either tan or gray, and it also has high-intensity headlights on it. While the victim was still lying on the ground in front of the SUV, the driver put this car in gear and ran over Mr. Skinner with both the front and the rear tires. The driver made no attempt to stop after he ran over Mr. Skinner. He accelerated the car away from the scene and continued to go eastbound on Adelaide Street. As this investigation has proceeded, we have been gathering more and more video from various surveillance cameras throughout the entertainment district, along Adelaide Street, and the side streets that run off of Adelaide. We have actually widened our search for surveillance video to include Adelaide Street all the way over to the Don Valley Parkway. And I can tell you, my understanding from the video experts is that digital video surveillance systems, there are approximately 16,000 possible different formats out there with all the different surveillance cameras. And I can tell you that each piece of video that we have had in this case, and we have a lot of it already, every single one of them is different. And when it comes to the software, we need to look at these videos. So it's been very difficult piecing together a timeline, looking at all the various video systems that we get. The investigative team has been busy throughout this last week collecting video from all these locations along Adelaide Street and piecing together the timeline of both Mr. Skinner walking along Adelaide and of the suspect vehicle's movements. We have been able to isolate Mr. Skinner as he left the bar and headed east on Adelaide Street. We have also been able to isolate other witnesses and their movements as they've told them to us in their statements. We have isolated this black SUV as it traveled eastbound on Adelaide Street towards Victoria. We do have some video from a security camera located near the intersection of Adelaide and Yonge, and what we see in that video is a series of vehicles all slowing down and momentarily coming to a stop or a near stop, and then proceeding again. And in that series of vehicles, you can see a number of different cabs. Some of them are, actually one of them is a taxi that is primarily blue with a white stripe down the side, or with a white stripe down the side, and another appears to be an orange taxi. With the quality of the video, I don't want to say for certain which type of cab this is, but I want to put it out there that in amongst the cab having to go over, these cabs having to go around this black SUV, they may remember being there at that specific time, and they may remember seeing something going on. It might have been very innocuous to them at that time, but if they think back now, they may realize that they did actually see something. So we're appealing to the cab drivers that may have been in the area of Yonge and Adelaide and Victoria at approximately 3:05 a.m. on Sunday morning to give us a call and let us know if they saw something. We're also appealing to anyone else that may have been in that area. The video does show various people walking to and from, or walking by the crime scene area, in that area. And they may too have seen the black SUV. They may have seen a driver. They may have seen something happen on the street. They may have seen people getting out of the vehicle. What we're going to show you today is a video of a black SUV traveling through the intersection at Adelaide and Bay Street a short time prior to the murder taking place. The video is actually on a loop, and you'll see it go by several times, and it is the only car you'll see in the video frame. You want to play that, Tony? The car that traveled through the intersection there, that is our black SUV. And you'll note that the time on this camera says 2:52. That time is not accurate. That's a time that was actually on the surveillance camera system, but it is not an accurate time as to what it is. It's actually closer to 3 a.m. That's one of the other problems we have with a lot of video systems is their times are not accurate, so it's harder for us to timeline things and get an accurate timeline going with differentials in the time frames. So this video will be made available on the TOC, I believe, after the press conference. And there's also still shots that are available of this vehicle as it stopped mid-intersection, I believe.
So Stacey, just explain what it is we're looking at here again and what you hope people will do.
What we're looking at is the intersection of Bay and Adelaide. And the vehicle that's traveling through the lights is a black SUV. And it travels directly through the intersection. Obviously, it's on a green light. And that, we believe, is the SUV that is involved in the murder of Christopher Skinner. And we're hoping that anybody that may recognize this vehicle that gives us a call, lets us know who it belongs to, and if they remember it being downtown. And that in conjunction with the description of the driver, as I said, was a male, light skin. He was wearing a black tank top, similar to an undershirt. It wasn't exactly a warm night out that night, so I can imagine he may have been in a club earlier with friends. We know there are at least 2, maybe 3 or 4 persons in the vehicle. Anyone that recognizes that description of the driver and that may have had a friend or an associate or someone they saw in the club, one of the entertainment district clubs that night, and remember him driving away in a black SUV. Maybe a neighbor, maybe a coworker, someone else might recognize the vehicle as belonging to somebody that has that similar description.
So the vehicle